Plaintiff Penny Straub says she was a recovering drug addict when she met the defendant. But because he was using drugs around her, she relapsed. Penny claims she overdosed, and the defendant took off and left her for dead. She's suing him today for the balance due on a car. Defendant Kyle Rigdon admits that he panicked after Penny overdosed, but he insists he called the paramedics and helped save her life. Kyle denies owing Penny for anything.
All right, start with you.
Okay, me and Kyle met about 2 years ago, and then we bonded over our recovery. But being friends with him basically almost killed me.
Why?
Because, I was in recovery when we met, and so was he.
What type of drugs were you all on? Or was it alcohol, or what were you recovering
we were on separate drugs. I went to a rehab. He went to the same rehab, but that's how we bonded. But I was on heroin, and then he.
What was he recovering from, or he may not want to mention?
He started relapsing, and then being around drugs and stuff made me relapse on my drug of choice, which is opiates. And I mean, I take full responsibility. I made that decision. I know that. But it just wasn't helping being around. I was trying to help bring him up, and I just felt like he was trying to help bring me down. But I did cave, and I overdosed, and I was technically dead. He left me, I feel like, for dead on the side of the road in my car, and just left. But he did call, 911 from a different phone number, and get the ambulance out there to me. But I was dead, like the day before Mother's Day, and I have kids. And
how did they rescue you?
I had to have Narcan, 2 shots of Narcan. I had to have CPR. I don't remember any of this, obviously, but once I got into the hospital, all I remember is waking up very confused.
How old are your children?
Now they are 16, 13, and 5.
How old were they then?
This was about a year ago, so they were just a year younger.
Someone helping you care for them?
Yes, at that time.
Inside the household? Or?
No, at that time I didn't have I was letting my older 2 stay with my ex-husband because I knew I wasn't.
Good.
And then I had help in house for my younger. So it was a very, very tough time.
Where are you from?
Indiana.
What part?
Indianapolis.
That's one of the most impacted states by the opioid epidemic.
Yes, it's horrible.
How did you get started on it?
My dad actually killed himself when I was about 20 or so, and I just spiraled out. I started with pills, and then.
What type of pills?
First it was Vicodin, then Oxycontin, and then.
Just to get high off of, you started Vicodin?
Yeah, but I mean, quite a bit of Vicodin, but.
Maybe I can lighten this up just a little. I've taken Vicodin every surgery I've had, and I sit up and wait to get high, and I never get high. So what do I have to do to legally get high off some Vicodin? I get my surgery and I don't get high. What y'all do?
I mean, you have to take more than you're prescribed.
Oh.
See, you're following the rules.
I'm following the rules.
Yeah, right.
Okay, stop following. I'm not going to advocate or trivialize. Most of the people who get hooked on Vicodin, and then that progresses to Oxycontin and then the heroin, most of the people say it started with an injury. And I've had to take it twice over injuries, and I've never felt high, or I never felt a reason to go beyond that 8 days.
Right.
Can you give me some insight, maybe from friends or whatever that you may have known?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people with injuries, maybe if they are in severe pain, I don't know, but they might, instead of taking it every 4 hours, take it every 3 hours or something, start shortening the time spans.
And then
they
take
run
2.
out early. So they're supposed to have pain medication for 4 days still, but they ran out because they took it early, so they still need to take more now. And then it's already spiraled, it spiraled out of control really fast.
Because you can't get any more from the doctor.
Right.
You've either been in so much pain you took 1.5, or you took it every 2 or 3 hours instead.
Correct.
So you use up more than you should have, and the doctor won't give you any more, so you go to the streets.
Once you're on the streets, you don't have a prescription to tell you when to stop. So, once you're getting it off the street, you don't have you know, that doctor's advice, hey, you're taking it a little too far, you know, maybe, you know, this is enough now. But once you're on the street, it's, you know.
Got it. All right, so the lesson is, and that's why we're spending so much time on this, as a preventative measure for those who are injured and are not sure how far to go beyond the doctor's orders.
Is none.
None. There's no way to go beyond that. Stick with it. You got to kind of stick it out with the pain. You can't take 2 at a time, and you can't take it earlier than every 4 hours. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for an opioid addiction.
Yes, there's a lot of other things that have to go into it, but, you know.
That's good to know. And I understand you experienced trauma in your life, and many people, instead of going to grief counseling, as they should, folks, they use drugs to dull the pain. So many people understand that, too. People go to drugs for that. All right, sir, you give me some background.
Just like she said, we met about 2 years ago. We kind of were supporting each other on trying to stay clean or stay away from drugs. We began working together. I'd noticed that she kind of gained a crush on me a little bit.
That's not true.
Just a little bit, you know, and she's in a very abusive relationship, so I began to play my role, I guess I would say. We kind of kicked it off. We're hanging out a little bit more, and as I noticed, she went inside somewhere, came out, and her hands kind of crunched up as we were sitting in the car. And I looked over again, and she turned kind of blue, and I didn't know what to do. I was panicked. I've had to deal with, I guess, the certain situation of dealing with what to do.
You have or you have not?
I have, but I haven't. I've seen it happen before, but I wasn't put on the spot to call the ambulance or anything like that. So I kind of panicked. I did notice that she was like completely gone, and it kind of, so once I did call the paramedics, I stood off to the side, and I didn't really leave her for death. I made sure that at least she got help, so that was the most important part. But she called me about a week later and stated, thank you so much, like, for saving my life.
Okay. Do you want to discuss your own challenge?
My challenge?
Yes.
My challenge is kind of with the same thing, not my father killing himself, but basically in terms killing himself. He had opioid addiction, whatever. He's really bad on the pain pills. He's actually 40 years old, and he's been on hospice for a year. So I dealt with the same.
He's how old?
40 years old.
Hospice for what?
For a year, congestive heart failure from opioids. That's a sad story too, as my father even states. 40 years old and sitting there seeing life dwindle away. It's not too fun. So.
And your addiction, you were opioid
my addiction,
as well?
I gained, I guess, the speed addiction at a young age.
Okay.
I have ADHD, so I'm very hyper anyways.
Okay.
So I began to, instead of use the doctor for, say, their prescription, I kind of tended off, just like she did as well. Once the doctor gives you a prescription, you begin to excessively use it, and then it turns into a spiral effect, just like she stated.
Okay.
And that's
well,
that's
for the record, there are millions and millions of people who take ADHD medicine and never go beyond that.
Yes.
So we don't want to give the impression to viewers that ADHD somehow is likely to lead to a different escalation of illegal drug abuse and addiction. Folks, don't get the impression that your child, if they require medication, that it's going to lead to anything else. I've seen highly, highly successful people who had ADHD. All right, why are you suing him?
Okay, I'm suing Kyle because I sold him my Jeep Grand Cherokee, a 94 Jeep Grand Cherokee, for $500, or it was supposed to be $500. And, we made this out.
What is that?
This is the contract that he originally signed, that we both signed. So he paid me $90. He showed me a check of $700 and said, oh, I just have to cash this check, and then I'll come back and give you the rest. So I wasn't even thinking when he left. I actually let him drive off with my license plate, and then it was like awful trying to get that back. Like I had to go and take it back off of
the car. Last time you asked for your money, what has he told you?
He gave me this list, and because I asked for the money, I have some text messages too.
Okay, sir, let me hear from you regarding the money. She shows me an agreement to repay.
Basically, we kind of wrote it out. I told her, hey, I got $100 on it today. I need something to drive just to kind of get my son around.
Okay.
And so then she came back to state, because we both do like a buy and sell and trade, like a boot.
Let's stick with disagreement. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
only
Sorry.
thing that matters.
Oh, sorry. That agreement was made.
So what's your defense today?
Basically, I don't owe her anything.
You signed an agreement saying you did.
Yeah, and
So why wouldn't you owe?
we may there's stuff that's signed after that.
Oh, let's see it.
Oh yeah.
There's not.
Oh, I believe. I do have them.
Where is
It's
it?
not subject with me.
Where, oh, it's not? Come back when you got it.
Okay.
Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I mean, I don't have a crush on him. I know he's always thought that, but I don't. I have a boyfriend. I'm very happy.
Basically, I just had the impression of young, dumb, and full of. I can't finish the last word, but that's it for today.